What's going on, squad? So, who's heard this before? Oh, it's just the price that you pay for lifting all those years. Just the wear and tear of the joint pain. It's just the price that you pay. Or if you heard this one, when I was younger, I used to weightlift, throw down 300 and something, 400 pounds on the bench. I used to squat 5 something. But now in my old age, I gotta lower the weight just because my joints just don't let me do this stuff anymore. Have you heard that? And I know I have. And it's nothing against anyone that said that. If you haven't heard it, you will hear it soon if that's not you. I've heard that since my early 20s, and it's something where you're aware of it, but it's not gonna let you stop. You're not gonna let that stop you from lifting. You're not gonna let that stop you from achieving your goals and chasing after your fitness dreams and getting that body that you want. But at some point, you gotta think about it. It's like, I've heard this same thing from many different people. They don't know each other. So clearly there's something going on here. Remember we talked about case studies in the last couple of videos? What is the common trend among people, right? So if that keeps happening, there's something to be said about that, right? So we talked about joint pain and alleviating that issue, but let's go into it a little bit more detail. This seems to be around the time during the year, especially in the Northeast, where it's starting to get a little bit nicer out here. So you get days like this where it's unseasonably warm. It's like 70 degrees out here right now in March. I was waiting for a day like this just to record outside. I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing that red carpet inside in the basement, right? The weakest link is usually the joint. And so we have three main areas there. We have the tendon, we have the ligaments, and we have the bursae. Those 3 segments of the joint are usually what take the most damage, and it's usually by force. Yeah, you might run into issues with the muscle where a muscle could get torn. I actually had my my right forearm here get torn in 2014, and it was grisly, but you know, it is what it is. But there was a weakness in the muscle, and so it detached. So you'll get acute injuries like that too, but more often than not, when we talk about injuries in the weight room, or just cardiovascular, maybe you went for a jog and something's just not quite right when you get back, it's usually joint related. Now here's something to keep in mind. Like, we might logically think, well, the joints, right, they're weak because they're what keep getting hurt. No, that's not true at all. Listen, the tendons are twice as strong as the muscle. They're very close to having the tensile strength of bone, and bone is really dense. It's really strong. I know in the movies and the cartoons, they kind of make it to look like bone is weak, like it's just easily smashable. Listen, if that were the case, there'd be a lot of problems in the world right now. Now, bone is strong, so then maybe it's flexibility, right? But no, it's not flexibility either. Flexible connective tissues, they're actually more susceptible to damage. They're more susceptible to getting torn. They're more susceptible to like minor sprains, tears, all the bull crap that we normally deal with. If we were to apply a flexible substance to a hard substance, when force is applied to either of them, the hard substance is what's gonna last. It's not the flexible. The flexible is the one that's gonna give first. So remember the video where we talked about mechanical abrasion? If you haven't seen that video on mechanical abrasion, here's a link right here. It's one of the topics I talk about in that video on joints, because if you guys are at all familiar with the Isochain and what this does for us, it's really important to know about that stuff, because essentially when we use the Isochain, we're bulletproofing our joints. I made that video because of my knees and how much better they are, and the fact that I just wasn't able to do this or this, none of that. And here we are 5 months later, started October 6th, and you know, it's gone. Something to remember with mechanical abrasion, that stuff is cumulative, so it does add up over time. It adds up during the set, let alone over time. So it's a force times the load. That's what attributes to the damage, okay? So what do? We eliminate the movement, because we need the load. Without the load, we don't get stronger. We don't get more toned muscles. We don't have a stronger body. So we need that load. We can't eliminate that. So now we just eliminate the movement. I know everybody on here is not like a ex-powerlifter or anything, but those guys, for those that aren't familiar with that, let me tell you something. Those guys that have said that to me, and I'm sure hundreds of thousands of other people, if not millions at this point, they've all said, you know, what I've done so that I could keep my gains that I worked so hard for in my youth is I slowed up the movement and I reduced the weight. They slowed up the movement. Did you catch that? So instead of slowing up the movement with the Isochain, we're going to eliminate it entirely. Because like I said just a couple minutes ago, we need that load, we need the load. And for the record, the isometric exercise doesn't contribute to the joint pain, it relieves it. And it does that by bulletproofing the connective tissues. So the strong, like we already discussed that the tendons alone, and I know it's not just tendons in a joint, it's tendons, ligaments, bursae, you know, cartilage, all that stuff, but the tendons take the brunt. Like I said, they're just about twice as strong as muscle. But by strengthening something that's already that strong, you're essentially bulletproofing your joints. You see the value in that now? Do you see the magic in that right now? Man, it feels great out here. It really does. Now, say for example, we have a direct impact to said joint. Yeah, of course. Well, then, yeah, you're gonna get damaged. You know, if something hits directly to the knee like that, well then, yeah, but we're not talking about that. That's just blunt trauma. What we're talking about is just movement. Just movement. Okay, that shouldn't hurt. That shouldn't hurt by default. The human body was made so that we could withstand forces, minor forces like that. Now, of course, increase the load and it becomes a little bit more damaging, but by strengthening up the connective tissues, we don't have to worry about that either. Does that make sense? We're essentially bulletproofing ourselves. We're bulletproofing our joints. I probably sound like a broken record because I've made a video very similar to this, but I didn't go into detail. I didn't go into why. What's the point in lifting all that weight in your youth, right? And being young and strong, when at the end of the day, when you're 50, 60, 70 years old, you gotta be old and weak. Why not be young and strong and then later be old and strong? Why not do that? Just let's bulletproof ourselves, okay? And the Isochain, in my opinion, and as millions of people will find out later when they realize what this product is and how much of a product it is, they'll realize it too. Who says that we can't have our cake and eat it too? Hey, listen, like I said this in the what is the Isochain video. Listen, time reveals all. Time reveals all. The more people that use this thing and they realize, because so far everyone that's used it has seen amazing results. I think there's something to be said about that. Yeah, we have NoLimitSquad members, but also just people that are running into this product. There's still people to this day right now that are running into this. There's something to be said about that. Check it out and see for yourself. Time reveals all. So why not get ahead of the bandwagon and start bulletproofing yourself so that when you're 60, 70 years old, you could be that person that walks in the gym like, dang, yo, he still got it. Yeah, man. They know something that you don't know, right? Be that man, be that woman. All right, guys, just wanted to drop this real quick because I don't know, I'm still just as excited October 6th when I first got my Isochain as right now. It's almost mid-March. So I mean, the thing is amazing and I can't wait to go around and really share it and travel and have people try it. So thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, be sure to drop a like, comment, and if you're not yet part of NoLimitSquad, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go and join the squad with us. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.